So, if a week ago you were disappointed that you did not get your Nintendo Switch Pro and instead got a Nintendo Switch OLED model, I think you were definitely not in the minority. A lot of people were quite upset about that, and not only that, but you got to spend $50 extra to get that OLED screen. It's not even like a flat upgrade. Well, I have some good news for you. Valve has officially announced the Steam Deck, which is kind of a Switch Pro, and that's kind of what I want to highlight and talk about. And maybe what's even better news is you can get it in December at a base price of $399. So that is only $50 more than a Nintendo Switch OLED model. So keep that in mind while you're kind of thinking of what you might want to look into this holiday season. So the first thing that I think is kind of important, and I am going to be doing comparisons to the mythical unicorn that is the Switch Pro that now no longer exists. The thing that I think a lot of people wanted from the Nintendo Switch Pro was basically DLS powered Tegra X whatever, X1 Plus, X2 chip that would allow you to kind of play upscaled 4K content using DLSS on the big screen, and then in portable mode you will be able to maybe play games at 1080p or something. Well, we didn't get that obviously, but we have the Steam Deck. So the Steam Deck is kind of a double-edged sword. It is AMD powered using RDNA 2. And the double-edged sword to that is we will not be getting DLSS. So this will not be doing some crazy upscaling abilities to be able to let you play 4K games on the big screen. But RDNA 2 has done a phenomenal job since it launched. It is in the current gen consoles, and the power that you're going to be getting is somewhere between an Xbox One and a PS4. So the Switch is usually kind of compared to a beefed up Wii U, which is kind of a little bit better than a PS3, Xbox 360. So this is truly kind of a next-gen machine in terms of what it's capable of and the power that it brings. So I think a lot of people have had issues with either the Steam Box, Steam OS, or the Steam controller in the past, and I want to attempt to address all three of these. So in terms of the Steam Box, those were limited because they were running a very specific version of Linux that you kind of had to know what you were doing to install it yourself, and then your game selection was limited. And well, that is partially the case with the Steam Deck. It is shipping with Linux installed. Valve is not going to stop you from installing Windows. So assuming there's no driver problems, which I would imagine there won't be using RDNA 2, hopefully it gets driver support like its kind of Big Brother desktop GPU counterparts. And honestly, this RDNA 2 APU might be used in some low-end gaming laptops or just general laptops. It wouldn't surprise me if there's driver support. Then, yeah, you're off to the races. You can just play Steam games. So that kind of addresses that issue. The next issue would be the issue with the Steam controller that I think Valve has kind of dropped the ball on in the past. And concerning that, this does look a little ergonomically questionable in some cases, and in other cases it looks much better than the Nintendo Switch. I think the one thing that's a bit annoying is that you cannot separate the controllers, so third-party support is definitely going to be possible, but you're not going to be able to fully detach the controllers. It looks like there's no stand either, so to really use some kind of third-party support on the go, you might have some... It'll get bulky, but in terms of what we have, there are touchpads for mouse support, which is kind of nice. Even if they'll be a little jank, you'll be able to get the job done. Touchscreen, which is very nice. And the button layout seems better than the Switch, in my opinion at least. The right hand on the Switch Joy-Con makes it very hard to use buttons in the stick. This seems a little better. And what is even better are those paddles on the backside. The paddles will basically replace the face buttons if you want. You could reprogram it and allow you to only have your thumbs on the stick, and you can use your middle and ring finger to handle what would essentially be the face buttons on the top. So I think that is super, super good. The last thing that I'll say about this is I'm hoping that, I'm sure they will have a Bang & Steam Link integration on this device, and if that's the case, then you could theoretically, if you hardwire Ethernet into this dock, turn on Steam Link, you should be able to do a decent game streaming ability on your desktop. So let's say you have this docked in the living room for when you're not out on the go. you should be able to boot up Steam Link. And I know that there's already solutions like the NVIDIA Shield, but this would be a nice perk. You can boot up Steam Link and have a 4K 60 FPS streaming experience, which partially rectifies the whole Pro issue. Anyways, that is it. Let me know what you guys think of this, and I will catch you next time.